You wonder if they are emotionally avoidant, or if they simply do not love you enough to stay consistently by your side. It is an agonizing cycle of overthinking every text, silence, and mixed signal they send your way during those lonely, quiet weekends. You desperately search for clues, hoping psychology can explain away their sudden distance and give you a valid reason to keep staying. Maybe they fear intimacy, you tell yourself, hoping that their sudden withdrawal is actually a hidden sign of true love. This confusion leaves you trapped, constantly anticipating their return while your own emotional needs remain completely ignored and deeply neglected. To find clarity, we must first understand the true nature of avoidant attachment and how it operates within romantic and intimate relationships. Avoidant individuals desire connection deeply, but when things get too real, their nervous system perceives that sudden closeness as a dangerous threat. They feel genuine affection, but their overwhelming fear of vulnerability forces them to build invisible walls to protect their own fragile independence. You might notice a pattern where an intimate weekend is immediately followed by days of silence and cold, distant, completely unexplained behavior. This push and pull dynamic is exhausting, leaving you feeling like you are walking on eggshells just to maintain the fragile peace. They pull away not because they dislike you, but because the intensity of their emotions feels entirely unmanageable and terrifying to them. However, we must also examine the other painful possibility. What if they are simply not emotionally invested in you or the relationship? If they do not love you, their lack of effort is not about fear. It is a genuine lack of real, meaningful romantic interest. They might keep you around for convenience, reaching out only when they feel lonely, never prioritizing your feelings or your valuable time. In this scenario, the connection feels shallow because it actually is. There is no hidden depth waiting to be uncovered by you. They do not panic at the thought of commitment. They simply do not want it with you, making excuses to stay distant. You will notice a lack of future planning. They live entirely in the moment, avoiding any conversations about where things are heading. So how can you tell the difference between someone who is terrified of love and someone who simply does not feel it? And the truth is, distinguishing between these two inner realities is difficult because the outward behaviors look and feel almost exactly the same. Both the avoidant and the uninvested partner will leave you feeling confused, anxious, and constantly questioning your own inherent self-worth and value. Both will offer breadcrumbs of affection, just enough to keep you holding on, but never enough to make you feel truly secure. Both will create a dynamic where you are doing all the emotional heavy lifting while they remain comfortably detached and utterly unaccountable. You spend hours analyzing their childhood trauma, trying to diagnose their complex behavior instead of looking at your own deep emotional pain. This is the crucial turning point in our psychological insight lab. One, we need to shift our perspective and completely flip the narrative. Instead of obsessively asking why they act this way, you must start asking yourself a much more important and deeply personal question. Does their underlying intention matter if the end result is that you are crying alone in your bedroom on a Friday night? If they are avoidant, they are not choosing you. If they do not love you, they are also not choosing you consistently. The core insight is this: even if they feel something profound, they still do not choose you in a consistent, healthy way. A hidden, unexpressed love that leaves you feeling abandoned and utterly confused is practically indistinguishable from a complete lack of love altogether. You are breaking your own heart by trying to love them out of their avoidance, on sacrificing your own peace for their potential. We often romanticize the idea of being the one patient enough to heal a broken partner, but this is a dangerous fantasy. Your love cannot cure their attachment style, and your endless patience will not suddenly transform their fundamental lack of deep romantic interest. It is time to stop being a detective in their emotional world and start being a fierce protector of your own well-being. Ask yourself, am I being treated with the care, respect, and consistency that I genuinely desire and deserve in a healthy relationship? If the answer is no, the psychological label attached to their behavior becomes completely irrelevant to your personal journey toward true happiness. You do not need to diagnose them to validate your pain. Your feelings of neglect are valid, regardless of their hidden motives. Accepting that they are not showing up for you is painful, but it is the first step toward your ultimate emotional freedom. You must grieve the potential you saw in them and face the harsh reality of how they are actually treating you today. Letting go does not mean you failed. It means you finally decided that your mental health is more important than their inconsistency. Imagine a life where your phone ringing brings joy instead of a sudden spike of anxiety and a rush of overwhelming questions. Imagine being with someone whose actions perfectly align with their words, someone who never leaves you wondering where you stand with them. This kind of secure, stable love exists, but you will never find it while you remain anchored to an emotionally unavailable partner. You must create space in your life by walking away from connections that drain your energy and trigger your deepest abandonment wounds. Setting boundaries is not about punishing them. It is about fiercely protecting your heart from further unnecessary damage and prolonged emotional suffering. When you stop accepting breadcrumbs, you signal to the universe and to yourself that you are ready for a full, nourishing meal. It will be lonely at first. The silence they leave behind will feel deafening, but within that silence lies your profound growth. Use this time to reconnect with your passions, your friends, and the parts of yourself that you abandoned to accommodate their needs. You are not asking for too much, you are asking the wrong person. Never lower your standards to keep a reluctant partner. And a true love does not require you to constantly translate mixed signals or negotiate for basic respect and consistent attention in your life. It is calm, it is clear, it is a partnership where both people actively choose each other day after day without hesitation. The difference between an avoidant partner and an unloving one matters less than how their actions are negatively impacting your beautiful life. Reclaim your power today. Stop waiting in their metaphorical lobby and walk out the door toward a future filled with genuine warmth. You deserve to be someone's absolute priority, not an option they consider when it is convenient for their current schedule and mood. Healing begins the moment you accept reality. Embrace your worth and refuse to settle for anything less than a fully committed love. Trust your intuition. If it feels like you are not being chosen, it is because you are not being chosen. Listen closely. Let them go. Free yourself from the exhausting cycle of analysis and step into the brilliant light of self-respect and inner peace. Your future self will thank you for having the incredible courage to walk away from a table where love was not served. Remember, the right person will never make you beg for attention or analyze their silence. They will simply be there for you. Thank you for watching Psych Insight Lab. Prioritize your peace, always choose yourself first, and we will see you very soon. Goodbye.